Hello, Eternal Life fans, it's Rowan. So I was on my YouTube channel, I was looking for old videos where I was talking about God. As an atheist, a lot of you probably already know, now I believe in God. I made a whole video about that, you can find that in the description. But what's interesting is about a year ago, I found a video where I was answering someone else's question on Tumblr. The question was, do you think I'm stupid for believing in God? Okay, and this is me answering the question as an atheist. Now, because I'm sure a lot of you guys think I'm stupid now for believing in God because I've acquired an atheist audience, right? So now I believe in God, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are thinking I'm stupid. So let's listen to what I said a year ago as an atheist answering this question. And it's interesting. It's interesting. Let's do that. Do you think I'm stupid for believing in God? No. I don't think people are stupid for believing in God at all. I know a lot of atheists are that way, where they're like, oh, you're stupid, you believe in God. I am not that kind of person. I don't even think people can choose what they believe. I don't think people have a control over what they believe. Like me, I don't choose what I believe. I don't. My brain convinces itself, and it doesn't have to do with free will. I don't have free will over my thoughts. I mean, my beliefs, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's the same way with God. For people who believe in God, they don't choose to believe in God. It's the way their brain is. They have to believe in God. There's no other way for them to be. And it's like, it would be like sexual orientation or someone's race. It'd be like judging me. To judge you for believing in God would be like me judging you for your race. It's ridiculous. You didn't choose your race. You don't choose your sexual orientation. Those things, that's not what we should judge each other by. We should judge each other by our actions, our deeds. So rather for thinking you're stupid for believing God, I would think you're stupid if you're behaving in such a way that is more likely to lead to your physical death. That's what I would judge you for. That's what I would think you're stupid for. So for instance, if you believe in God, and then because you believe in God, you're doing things where you don't care about dying anymore. You don't care about living forever physically because you think there's some afterlife. I would judge you for that, because that's an action that you can control. You don't have to, just because you believe in God, you could still be trying to live forever physically to the best of your ability, and perfect yourself, perfect your health and everything, and trying to extend your life as long as possible to live forever. If you were doing that, I wouldn't judge you. So I don't judge people for the beliefs. What I'm saying is I judge people for their actions and their behaviors. So, yeah, that's just, and I would say, if you do believe in God, just make sure you're staying agnostic about it. Like I was giving advice to the other person. Don't be sure. Don't be sure. Just say you don't know. I would say it'd be better if you said you're hoping for a God. Because even I hope for a God. It's fine to hope for a God. Just don't be so sure of yourself. And do everything you can to live forever physically, because this is the only life that we know for sure exists. Okay? Now this is Regina Spektor, and I wanted to show you guys this little clip, but this is what I'm talking about. Regina Spektor makes it very clear here about why we shouldn't really judge people for their beliefs, because it's not something we can control. So she's kind of backing up what I was just saying. Let's listen to what she says here.
What do you think about God? Right? Are you a religious or spiritual person?
Well, the short answer to that is yes. But the long answer is that I think that I noticed on this record, actually, there's a lot of things about religion, and there was like a lot of songs that deal with the concept of God and religion, but from many different angles. And so sometimes it's sarcastic, and sometimes it's with love, and sometimes it's with like confusion, and sometimes, it just, and so I think in the end I don't really have like this is my manifesto on God and religion, this is what I believe in, and I think that it changes from day to day, and I've always been really interested in faith, because I think I've always had it, like, kind of naturally. But I'm interested in religion and tradition, and sometimes I think that it's great, and sometimes I think that, you know, it obviously does a lot of bad to people also. It makes people sometimes loathe themselves and hate others and angry, and I'm very torn about it. And there's some things that I like about it and some things I don't like about it, and I'm always spinning between the two. So I think that more and more I start to think that maybe faith, or the opposite, the lack of faith, they're as natural as, you know, they have nothing to do with the person's own accomplishments. Like, it's not my accomplishment that I have faith, and good for me, you know, congratulations, Regina, like, you believe, you know, because it's like congratulating myself on blue eyes, or being a woman, or any other thing that I had nothing to do with. And I think that, you know, the sooner that people understand that just as it's natural to someone to have faith, it's just as natural to someone to not have faith. And for those two entities to just let each other be, you know, that would be a really great time, I think, in the world. But it's not, it doesn't seem to be happening right now, so,
But what do you believe?
Okay, so that was awesome. That was backing up what I was saying, remember? Because I was saying that people don't freaking choose their beliefs. And she basically said, you know, beliefs is not like something, it's not an accomplishment. I had nothing to do with my beliefs. So I think that's backing up what I was saying. And so the moral of the story is, regardless of what you believe, what's more important is that you're going out there and you're being awesome with your behaviors, your actions, because that's what really counts at the end of the day. It's what people do. So strive to live forever physically. That's the most important thing. And you're perfecting yourself and you're being the most perfect person you can, because that all has to do with actions. You do have control over your actions. Never forget that. That's what we must take responsibility of, our own actions. It's like that Jewel song, that Jewel Kilcher song says, "Who will save your soul if you won't save your own?" Be responsible for your own eternal life. And this is the message. Your beliefs don't make you a better person. Your behavior does. Anyways, that's all. I have to end this because this is, my time at the library is ending. Thank you, and we'll do another live stream, and thank you everyone in the chat. Wasn't that interesting? I have to say, I think my old self was pretty smart. I think, you know, I especially liked what my old self said about agnosticism, and I'm still the same way. Even though I believe in God now, I'm still in agnosticism. I mean, I'm still an agnostic, and in many ways, I feel like I'm more defined by the agnosticism than the theism. Like, the agnosticism rules me, because I'm afraid of death, because I don't know there's a God. I explained all this before, and I'm still very terrified of death, you know? I think really agnosticism is the whole key to all of this, because agnosticism is really the solution, because whether you believe in God or not, it always makes sense to call, you know, put an agnostic in front of that, right? You're an agnostic atheist. You're an agnostic theist. The important thing is that we admit we don't know so that we can be prepared for either scenario. Like what I said back then, giving advice to that God believer, I was saying, hey, you know, don't count on this God, right? Live forever physically. You better not die. You know, don't count on this afterlife. It's still the same way. Like, I'll take that advice from my old self. That's really good advice, you know? Me as a God believer, I better still try to live forever physically, take my health seriously. I'm not about to count on, you know, a God to save me. And then what I thought was very interesting is that I mentioned that quote of Jewel, which is like, who will save your soul if you won't save your own? That's a great idea, because I feel like a lot of these people who believe in God, they are counting on a God to save them. They're counting on it. They're not just hoping for it. You know, they don't just believe it. They're expecting it. And that is not me. I want to get that on the record. I don't think everything's just going to be fine and dandy now that I believe in a God. No. I'm going to be smart, and I'm not counting on any kind of help from a God to help me live forever. I'm going to live as though I need to do this all myself. You know, I need to not die ever, okay? I hope that makes sense. Yeah, don't die. That's the message. And dead people are still losers, right? Unless the dead person is somewhere, they're not dead, right? Unless the dead person is not dead at all, then they're a loser. Because dead people, if you're dead, you're a loser. Like if you're really, really dead, you're gone, you're a loser. And nobody knows if there's a God. That's the end of the line there. So, you know, like I said before, like it makes sense to be God-fearing because that's just being better safe than sorry, regardless of what you believe. You know? To me, really, the whole belief part of it is a small issue. Like, I appreciate what Regina Spektor said too. Regina Spektor, she knows what's up. Did you hear what she said? She's very smart. She's like, you know, we don't know. Like we belief is not a choice. It's not something. It's not an accomplishment. It's not credit. It's nothing. It's something the person didn't even choose, so it's not worth judging people over their beliefs. It's not worth it. Like there's no point in it because they didn't choose it. It's like to judge someone for their beliefs or a lack of belief is ridiculous. It's as ridiculous as judging people for their skin color or their gender, because I didn't choose to believe in God all of a sudden. It wasn't my choice. No. My brain now happens to believe in God for whatever reason. And you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's it, really. Okay, now I suppose as an atheist now, a year later, that was a year ago, I should flip the question around and let's pretend somebody's asking me, do I think atheists are stupid? Let's say the atheist is saying, Rowan, do you think I'm stupid for being an atheist? No, I don't think you're stupid for being an atheist. I mean, how hypocritical would that be of me to think atheists are stupid for not believing? No. Like, you don't choose to be an atheist. Back when I was an atheist, I didn't choose to be an atheist. Now that I'm a believer, I don't choose to be a believer. It's just the brain decides for itself. Belief is involuntary. That's really an important thing that everyone needs to get, okay? It's like Regina Spektor said, as soon as we can get that, as soon as we get over that whole judging each other for our beliefs thing, and we can start to focus more on someone's actions, that's really going to help the world. That's the way forward. Is like we can... belief is so petty, right? To judge people for their beliefs, and like... It's really a petty thing. It's like... I don't know. For the people out there who want to think, you know, I'm stupid for believing in a God, okay? Fine. You can do that. Maybe you can't even choose that. Right? Maybe you can't even choose, because that's a belief too, right? If you believe I'm stupid for believing in a God, I'm not going to judge you for believing that, because that's just your belief. You can't even choose that belief. You happen to believe I'm stupid? Okay. That's fine. It's okay. You know who I think is stupid? The people who aren't trying to cure aging, the people who aren't trying to cure all diseases, the people who focus on stupid things in this world when we're all dying, right? We're on the Titanic, we're getting older, we're sinking, right? The people who aren't focused on their eternal life, those are the stupid people, in my opinion. That's the core issue, is your focus on eternal life, and how focused you are on eternal life is proven by your actions, right? Our actions speak. To me, it's more about, it's not about a person's IQ or a person's beliefs. It's really about their actions show how much they really care about eternal life. So we should judge by those actions. I'm going to judge people's intelligence by their actions. By their actions. Are they living wisely? Are they avoiding the dangers of this world? Are they studying their health? Are they, treating their body like a temple? Are they being as healthy as possible? And are they trying to cure aging? These are the type of things that are important. Okay? Survival. 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 There's nothing more human than the will to survive. Really. The message is, what I would say though, if someone as an atheist is asking me, okay, Rowan, am I stupid for being an atheist? I would say, not if you're a God-fearing atheist, like I was. You can be a God-fearing atheist. Okay, also get that through your head. God-fearing, you don't have to believe in something to fear the possibility of it, right? Am I right or am I right? Like, I can believe that I'd be safe if I flew on a plane to New York right now, okay? But I wouldn't do it just because I'm afraid of the possibility of the plane crashing, okay? I don't believe I would crash, but I wouldn't fly on the plane just because I fear the possibility of it. It can be the same way with God. You don't have to believe in God in order to fear God. You can be a God-fearing atheist. I was. So God-fearing makes sense. To be God-fearing, the whole Pascal's wager thing, you can do that. You don't even need to believe. You just fear with your actions. You fear with how you're living. Really, the whole point of all of this is to say it's all about the actions. The actions are behaviors, whether we're doing good things or bad things. That's really where the rubber hits the road. That's the whole thing. And fear death. Like I said before, fear death, fear God. That is smart. That is smart. Living forever. Living forever. That's the whole, that's it. That's it. May you live forever.